I'm excited to share with you a series of episodes entitled I Love Your Love. I have invited a few of my friends who have agreed to share their stories on life and love. Let's take a look at their interviews. Welcome to this new edition of Life with Lechele, reality without the drama. This segment is called I Love Your Love. And today I have with me Tanella and Reggie Hall.
Hey.
And she also goes by the name of Chef Ty. Thank you guys for being a part of this segment of Life with Lechele. I love your love.
Very welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you for loving our love.
Yeah, somebody else loves it. Yay.
I do.
Mm-hmm.
You know, Ty and Reggie are the owners of T&R Catering Services.
Yes.
And they have 3 beautiful young adult children.
Yeah, they're adults.
And they are also, Army veterans?
We're vets, and our son leaves on the 21st to join the Air Force.
Oh, that is
month.
awesome.
So we're keeping the family tradition alive. Yeah.
Awesome. That is sweet. Thank you guys again for being a part of this show. Tell us a little bit more about yourselves. Ty, you tell us a little bit about you. Reggie, you tell us a little bit about yourself, and then you guys as a couple.
Okay.
Go for it.
Thanks. So my name is Tanella Hall. I am actually from Philadelphia. So the neighborhood in which I come from is called The Boller.
The Boller?
The Boller. It's a part of West Philly, but like if you go up there, we all kind of have our own little niche. And my neighborhood is The Boller. I left Philadelphia in '97 to join the military. And let's see, I ran into somebody, but I'm talking about me, right? So I am a servant at heart. Mm-hmm. So I've served our country as a Army veteran, I've served as a nurse, and I'm still serving by being a chef. So my gifting and my talent is hospitality. Always. It's me.
That's Reggie.
Hey. My name is Reggie Hall, Jr. Born and raised in Richmond.
Okay.
I'm the type of person that I love to help people. I always had a heart for older people, elderly, and kids. I've had to learn to love adults because sometimes, they be hard-headed.
Yeah.
But I played football in high school. Didn't get an opportunity to play in college, so I decided to go into the military, go into the Army, and where a couple of years down the road, I met someone, but we talking about me right now.
I love it.
I basically, I took what I learned in the military. I came out, I was a mechanic for a little bit, and then I went to the mental health field. Like I said, I love to help people, especially those that's less fortunate than me. But I also wanted to help this individual that I talked about, and helping her also.
Okay.
And so now, like I said, part owner of T&R Catering, and also Gourmet Hem Foods, which we have.
Right.
So we have some sauces, some great sauces.
Awesome. We're going to talk about that a little later.
Yeah,
so tell me a little bit about more how you guys met.
So
this is an interesting story right here. Let's tell it.
My version is it's a one-night stand and never stopped.
Oh, I like that.
And the reason why is because when I got to Korea, which is where we met in Korea, so we both spoke prophetically out of our mouths at a different point without even knowing it, that we weren't going to marry anyone from our hometown.
Okay.
Like I knew I wasn't going to marry anyone from Philadelphia. I wasn't going back. So I spoke it without realizing the weight of my words at that time.
Exactly.
And he said the same thing. I didn't find out, of course, until after we met, but he had said that he wasn't going to marry anyone from here. So we met each other, and I had a guy I was already talking to. So my name at the time before I got married my last name was Terrell. And my first name is Tanella. So on your card, you only have a certain amount of characters that you could put out. So it looked like I was a male. So they sent me to Camp Greaves, which is an all-male post.
Oh, wow.
And when I got there, it was like, I'm not Smurfette. You need to figure this out. So they sent me back. I ended up on Camp Casey, and I was talking to a guy. You don't really have to have a name. I was talking to him.
Very irrelevant.
And I ran into him at the gateway. And he walked me home because it was dark. Next day or 2 days later, he shows up. Hey, you want to go down range? And I'm like, I'm waiting on somebody. He was like, all right, well, when they get here, you can tell them you're going with me.
That was very bold.
Okay. And I lived in, like, literally, it was like a room because I was by myself. Because I didn't have a roommate. So from the bed, because it was a bed, a chair, a desk, and a foot locker. Like, that's all that was in that room. So from me walking from the chair to the door, which was, he had some snap away pants or something. And I opened the door, and the guy is standing there. He was like, oh, this is how we doing it. And I was like, what you talking about? I turned around. His pants, he snapped them, and he chilling on the bed like, yo, what's up? Wait a minute.
Oh, you're a comedian too? Or that was serious? That wasn't actually trying to be funny?
No, I've always been, I don't lack confidence. That's one thing. I'm short, I lack height, but I do not lack confidence. So if I see something and something that I want, I go get it. I don't see anybody else or anything else. So like, not even my bad. Just get out of the way.
Wow, that was real bold.
So
yes, okay.
That was our first like encounter. We have been together ever since.
Wow, is that the same take that you have on the story?
Pretty much, but it started before then, and this is when this is one thing that I take, I take very seriously. The words that you speak out your mouth, they hold a lot of weight. So be mindful of the things that you say.
They come back on you.
Yeah, they come back and they put you in places where you never thought you would be. Okay. Year earlier, before I met, but I don't know, she might not even been in yet.
Okay.
In the service yet.
Right. I like how this going.
I was stationed at Fort Carson, Colorado, in Colorado, and I came home on leave, and I brought one of my buddies, my homeboys, because he got kicked out. So, but he lives in Norfolk, Newport News, and so I was like, well, since you're going back, I'm going to leave, so we might as well go ride together. So, long story short, I get up to this house and we party hard. And one of the things my mom always told me, she always said, no matter what, make sure you bring your back home.
Okay.
Y'all know, right? I'm cursing.
Yes.
So she said, make sure you get home. So I was told. Look.
How old were you at this time?
I believe I was 19.
Okay.
Yeah, I was. But
You were 21.
Yeah, I was.
But back then you didn't have to be 21, right?
Yeah.
You did? Okay, I can't remember. Well, for me, I don't want to say my age, but
The
a lot younger.
The military gives us a little leeway. Like, we're in countries where we can drink at 17.
Right.
We're going and we're putting our life on the line a lot of times. So drinking is like, you need that. Liquid courage every so often.
Wow.
You need it. But go ahead and finish your story.
Yes, please.
So it was me, one of my best friends, and like I dropped my homeboy off, and I'm coming back, and knowing everything said I needed to go get a hotel room because I do not need to be driving.
Right.
But Mama said I gotta get home. So I'm on 64, coming back to Richmond. And at some particular point, I don't know, I guess the speed limit on 64, it used to go up and drop down,
Right.
you know, back probably about 20 years ago. So I'm rolling. Next thing I know, I see flashing lights. And my boy, he is like, man. And then I'm looking, I was like, don't worry about it. I got this. Thus comes the confidence again.
Oh.
So,
Okay.
cop pulls us over. He said, he's like, you know how fast you're going? I said, no, you know.
Okay.
You stopped me. He was like, And then my boy, he's basically like, turning white because he's like, yo, what are you doing? Yo, chill out.
Yes.
He said, y'all guys been drinking? I said, nah. And so I was like, then he's like, you were speeding. I said, okay. So he had went back to the car, did everything, came back with the summons. He's like, well, I need you to, you appear in court on this day. I said, I can't do that. So the trooper goes back to the car, comes back again. He said, well, how about this date? I said, I can't do that neither. He said, excuse me, what do you mean? Can I said, look, I'll be out of the country. You can see I'm in the military. I got orders and I'm gonna be gone. I won't be in country during this time.
Okay.
I said, I'm leaving back to Colorado in 2 days. So if you can't get me in court in 2 days, then don't worry about it. My boy about passed out. So he came back again. And thus, first of all, I didn't have any orders. And I won't go in no will. I just,
wow.
I didn't have any type of orders. Just came back from Kuwait and all that other stuff, so I wasn't scheduled to go anywhere. So, fast forward, I never made the, well, I did go to the court, couldn't find a court building, then I just went back to Colorado. Anyway, 2 weeks later, I come down with orders to go to Korea. So that I say, be mindful of what you say because it just might happen. And I got to Korea. I had no intentions on meeting anybody. It was going to be, like I said, no one night stand or whatever the case, or just friends and benefits. It wasn't going to be anything serious because I just got out of a relationship that I kind of couldn't figure out how I got engaged. I didn't know how it happened. Like, that's me being 19, but like, oh, hey, take them back for some earrings. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? No.
Okay.
So, in Korea, just living my life. One of my buddies, and his name will come out, Patron Matadine. He was my room dog, and he was like, hey, like every year on your anniversary, you get a clothing allowance. So the date that you signed in, you get it's a bonus.
Okay.
They call it as a clothing allowance. Maybe 2 times out of 10 people use it on actual getting extra clothes. So he's like, hey, I got my clothing allowance. We gonna go get some drinks. Drinks on me. And I said, all right, cool, no problem.
It was a Wednesday.
It's a Wednesday night.
Wednesday night. They both got that one.
It was a Wednesday night. Cause like it was off night, and I'm like, okay.
Magdalene invited him and another one of his friends that I did not know was his friend named Augustine.
He ain't invited him.
No, Augustine invited me out.
Oh yeah, okay, whatever.
Augustine invited me out, but I didn't know that y'all knew each other.
Yeah, I knew Augustine from he was
Augustine. This is all yours.
Yeah,
Right,
Yeah,
between him and Magdalene.
yeah, he was stationed. He was stationed in Fort Carson with me. Like I said, I knew him. We hung out a little bit, but we weren't like If we were, that probably would have never happened. But anyway.
Oh, okay.
So
next.
Matadine, he didn't have his money, so I ended up paying for drinks and stuff like that. And I was like, well, We just gonna make the best of the night.
Okay.
So we sitting at the gateway and we're chilling, and I see this young lady walk past in this nice little tight t-shirt with some they won't apple bottom jeans.
But close.
Yeah, they were very close.
They was American Eagle.
Like I said, they won't apple bottom, but they
fit you nice.
Yeah, but they showed you apples. So, and I was like, well, and I was telling them I seen her walk past. I seen her walk past again. I told my boy, I said, Madeline, I said, look, if she walked past me one more time, I'm going to get her.
Oh.
He was like, go ahead. And I said, man, I don't need it. I got this. So she walked past one time and she walked into the game room. Like in Korea, they try to make the best, they try to get all comforts of, you know what I'm saying, of home. So this club, it had pool tables, it had a little slot machines, it had everything.
Right.
And we didn't know the stage was an actual boxing ring.
Oh, okay.
It was an old converted boxing ring.
Yeah, so
I didn't hear the story is me walking back and forth. I never saw him. So
Oh,
it wasn't like you know how you have some females who put an extra. I didn't know he was there, so it was no extra walk. It wasn't no extra twitch.
You just being you.
I was just being me, walking around trying to figure out if I could see Augustine, who told me to come out on a Wednesday night, or anybody I knew.
Right.
And I walk in the game room. Augustine is in there. And I'm like, yo, how you gonna tell me to come out? And I don't even see where you at. He was like, well, you done found me now. And then right behind me is him.
yeah, so however long they were there, I went straight in there. I seen Augustine, hey, what's going on, babe? Dapped him up and then immediately started to talk to her.
Oh, okay.
So he looked at me like,
what's up? Let's go.
I don't even remember where he went after that. He was like invisible.
Oh,
you know what I'm
okay.
saying? So
Did he sweep you off your feet? How did you feel when he approached you like that?
I thought he was really cute. Like, you know, I was like, oh, he kind of cute. And
yeah, I was cute in Augustine.
I love it. I love
so
your love.
at that point, I had a type.
Okay. All right.
But clearly, you know, it's funny how you can look at when you've gone through it, where God is directing you.
Okay.
So my type was tall, was dark, was kind of muscular. That was my type.
That was
I
your
said I had
type.
the muscular type. I had that part. 1 out of 3, I guess.
But
That works.
it didn't work out. Like either their personalities would clash like right in the beginning, so I couldn't like put too much effort in it, or it was something, but that was what I thought I was attracted to.
Okay.
And that's all I would look for. So to see somebody that was like my height almost, brown skin, he had on a leather jacket.
Wow.
And
They know details.
he had his leather jacket on, and he had his yellow rimmed glasses, and that's kind of what like stuck out about it. And I was like,
Wow.
dude is kind of, he had a little drink in his hand. He took a sip. He's like, hi, my name Reggie. And I was like, oh, my name Terrell. Right, he was like, I don't do last names.
Oh, what's up with the last name?
In the military,
Oh,
we address each other like by.
Oh, okay.
Right.
I got you.
Augustine, that's his last
That's
name.
his last name. I don't even know what Augustine's first name
Okay.
You don't need one.
But, like, so I was like, well, my name's Terrell, and I shook his hand, and he was like, oh, that's a tight handshake. And he was like, I don't do last names, and I was like, I don't know you well enough to give you my first. And like, so it wasn't like smooth in the beginning, but then I walked out somehow or another. I left out, and then it was a white guy, a white sergeant, who I ended up playing pool with.
No, this was the second time.
That was the second
Yeah.
time.
Oh, that
look,
was the second
I was
thing.
like, look, because I don't even.
So how long ago has this been?
98.
In 98.
Mm-hmm.
In
98. It was 99?
Yeah.
It was February 12th. No, it won't, because that's when we became a couple.
Oh.
So it was early February of 99.
Yeah, it was 99.
99.
Because I was still in Korea when the Y2K.
That's when I left.
So how did you actually become a couple? Did you like approach her and say, you gonna be my girlfriend, or what? You know, are we gonna be exclusive?
We ain't never done none of that.
It
It just
It
evolved.
It
just
just
happened.
happened. It just
You
happened.
know, I mean, it was us just being together. Because like I said, it won't.
Y'all just clicked.
Yeah, and like I said,
I
it's
tried
supposed
it,
it's
though.
supposed to be like a one night stand.
Right,
you know?
but I tried it because he did something that I ain't like,
Oh, okay.
and I call myself going out. Without him. Put on this cute little outfit, and I'm walking, and I heard, yo! I'm like, and next thing I know, I was beelining up the hill, because I was like, I don't got time to be playing with him. No, he a little crazy. So, and he had got this nickname being over there as the crazy little dude with hats. He always had a baseball hat on, always had a hat. Always had a hat, and he would have them all like monogrammed and everything.
Oh, wow.
So everybody kind of started when they saw us together, they automatically put us together. And we weren't like exclusive, but we weren't actively looking for anybody else. And then he was in a group called Strictly Business,
So it was just like,
or they came up with their name.
yeah, it was just a bunch of us in the same unit. We partied hard. We had a good time. We went out, and so he's like, hey, you know what I'm saying? In Korea, like everybody had a crew, not so much a gang, but everybody was like, you know what I'm saying? So if this, like the 1st and the 15th crew, you know what I'm saying?
Y'all were 3 Deuce.
You were 3 Deuce, and
I was 7 Deuce.
Yeah, it was 3 Deuce and 7 Deuce mix. I was.
But it was like 20 deep on his side, and I would be the only female.
Oh wow, 20 deep.
20 deep, and I was the only, and I would look at it like, do you really want me here though?
Right.
And he's like,
I
oh, you
got
roll with me, and I was like, but I'm the only girl.
Don't matter, because at that particular time, I was wild.
Wow.
Oh yeah.
And I needed checks and balances. So
Okay,
like I said,
she was your balance.
Yeah, so just in case that I went too far left, she brought me back. Yeah.
I won him over when he told me what he wanted, and he hadn't had a home cooked meal.
Oh.
And I had a hot plate. This is crazy. I had a hot plate and a microwave, and that was it. Like it was no kitchen. It was no kitchen, and I lived in the E6 barracks. Even though I was at E3, I lived in the E6 barracks.
Well, for those who don't know, Sergeant's Barracks.
I lived in the sergeant's barracks because, again, at the beginning of the story, I told you they looked at me as being a male. So until they could find me a place, they had to put me by myself,
Right.
because it was all male.
Okay.
So I made him fried pork chops smothered in gravy, rice, string beans, and a biscuit.
And biscuits. Yeah.
And
Oh,
biscuits,
wow.
and I wrapped it up, and he had CQ, which is when you have to stay up 24 hours.
Oh, okay.
I had found out about it, and I brought it to him. This was maybe in the first 2-3 weeks we started talking to each other, and he was just like,
What? You cooked
what?
this for me?
He's like, where did you cook it? How did you make this happen? Like, I've been to your room, it's nothing in there. Like, how?
And where her barracks were and where mine was, like half. It's pretty much two opposites of the post.
So it would be the equivalent.
Did you walk or did you?
I caught a cab.
You caught a cab. Okay,
Wow.
that was like.
For the cab. It was the equivalent of basically being Southside to get the short pump. Like there was no closeness. I had to get a cab to ride because where he was almost by like the back gate, and I was at the front gate. So as soon as you walked in and looked up the hill was my barracks, and then you went through
Wow.
to get to him. So that's how we got started.
That's a great story. So we're gonna take a pause.
Yeah.
We're gonna take a pause and we'll be right back. Okay.